Did you know that the Century Farm designation is awarded to families who have farmed the same land for more than 100 years? The state of Maryland has 187 Century Farms, and 3 are located here in Montgomery County. The oldest is the retirement farm in Laytonsville, which is also a bicentennial farm. The 87-acre farm dates back more than 275 years, and it's owned by Putt and Nancy Willett. Let's meet them and their historic property.
The Griffith family started in 1741 here in Montgomery County, and it has remained in our family in agriculture, in farming if you will, since 1741. Our house is a house that was built in 1842. It is one that replaced an older house that was a wood structure that burned down, which apparently was not uncommon in days of old when you used wood to heat. Nancy and I, my wife, moved back here in 2002. We both moved back from the Annapolis area. We both worked in the Annapolis area. What's kind of interesting is when we moved back here, my friend said, "Oh, that's nice. You named your farm Retirement Farm." That's not exactly how it worked out. But I grew up here at Retirement Farm. This was my home as a infant, and as a young fella, and as a teenager, and then young man now, I guess otherwise, being an older guy.
This is his great-great-great-great-grandfather.
We raised 2 daughters in the Annapolis area, and we came almost every single weekend back here to the farm to visit his mom and dad. And then when Dad passed away, Putt would come and help his mom do a variety of things here on the farm. He actually baled hay when we were a younger couple with the girls here. So the girls kind of grew up here on the weekends. In fact, they would come every summer and stay here with Mom for at least 1 week and enjoy the outdoors and all that here. I didn't grow up in a really agriculture area. I grew up in Germantown, but it was the old country Germantown, which has changed tremendously now. But I'm enjoying being here back on the farm. I enjoy taking care of the flowers in the area, just seeing the fields change a lot, the environment change a lot.
In fact, the Willets leased the farmland to an adjacent farm, and a portion of the original farm is owned by Putt's sister and brother-in-law, Gene and Tom O'Toole.
Good friend of ours who lives right behind us, Drew Stabler, is farming land, and this year has soybeans in.
Putt spent his career as an agricultural educator, teaching in both high school and college, and continues his work in promoting agriculture.
We are celebrating our 20th annual Gas and Steam Show.
In addition, I've tried to stay in the educational arena. Most recently, a few years ago, I was president of the Maryland Agriculture Council, which goal is to promote agriculture and to educate folks about agriculture. In addition, I was president a couple of years, 2 years to be exact, the Maryland Agriculture Education Council for the state. The agriculture industry happens to be the largest industry in Maryland, a $2 billion industry.
Nancy is active in the local agricultural community as well.
I'm involved with the Laytonsville Women's Club, and they do a variety of charitable events and service projects in the area on behalf of agriculture as well as people in need.
Quilting is also a passion of Nancy's. She donates them or gives them to friends and family.
Saw this beautiful sunflower fabric at the local quilt shop and just knew I had to have it, especially since my sister loves sunflowers. This is actually sunflower number 2. This one was done 3-4 years ago. It's a very simple pattern. Here you have the big star in the middle, the big square, half square triangles. It's very colorful, and I can also use it at Christmas time.
Barn quilt blocks are a type of folk art. The retirement farm recently got its own.
Putt and I celebrated our 50th anniversary last year, and we happened to have a speaker at our Quilt Guild meeting who talked about quilt barns across America. And there are several states that part of agritourism do quilt barn tours. And my lady friends said, "Nancy, you need a quilt block on your barn." They asked me what quilt block I want, because you know there are hundreds of blocks that have names. And I said, well, we grow corn and soybeans here on the farm. And I said, there's a block out there called corn and beans. And I went and got a picture of it, and sure enough, they went and designed the pattern for it.
The Willets also collect antique tractors and show them here and around the country. Putt is the resident expert.
This is a Waterloo boy, hit and miss engine. This was a source of power on the farm in the early 1900s. Its job was to do a number of things. It could be grinding feed. It could be being hooked up to a hammer mill, which does grind feed, or cutting wood, if you will. This particular Waterloo boy engine was made in 1913. In 1913, John Deere bought out Waterloo boy so they could have the tractor company, if you will. This tractor here is a John Deere H. The John Deere H was one of the tractors that replaced the horse, really. It's a one plow tractor, meaning it can only do one furrow at a time in order to prepare soil to be planted. This particular John Deere H, at the time it was built, was first class. Why? Because it actually had electric start. Most of the tractors before this one, you had to hand crank. This is a 1947 model as well, but it was a two plow tractor as opposed to one. Matter of fact, in the right soil conditions, you could actually perhaps pull three bottoms, but it's known as a two plow tractor. This piece right here is how you could hand crank it. That's where you'd put the hand crank. The wheels toenail in. That, as I said before, is so you can get down the row without mashing your corn or whatever you might be cultivating. They don't build that type of front end anymore because they're not as safe as a wider front end tractor, ones that have wheels way out to the side.
The retirement farm gives us a glimpse into the many types of farms in Montgomery County. For more info on our farming community, go to these websites.